Hello, everybody, and welcome. So, what are we doing today? Well, we're reacting to Foodie Beauty's Q&A session that she did, part 2. So, Foodie, I guess you've run out of content, haven't you? You've run out of ideas because you've been on YouTube for almost 5 years and doing a Q&A. Really? Really? This is the best you can do as a Q&A? Well, regardless of whether it's boring or not, I'm still here for it. So the last React video that I did for Foodie was of her faux Febreze spray that was caught in a dollar store. And for the record, I have nothing against dollar stores. Hey, I shop at the dollar store. It's all good. It is all good. The issue is not the dollar store itself. It's the fact that Foodie and Salo, they gave us the impression that what they were doing was going to be, say, in a mall or a high-end store, and it ended up at a dollar store. And curiously enough, Foodie, being the person that she is, and she likes to brag about anything connected to her, for some reason, she did not promote this spray being in a dollar store. So isn't that funny? That this product, this faux Febreze spray, she didn't promote it. She didn't say, hey, look, guys, it's being sold in the store. She just kind of kept quiet about that. So it led me to believe that perhaps she was embarrassed that it ended up there, that for some reason she didn't want people to know. But yeah, let's go on to this Q&A. Before we do, though, let's cover some stuff on Twitter, because I found some cool stuff on Twitter. Little tidbits, little bit of this and that. So we'll go into that first before we hit the Q&A. Let me just bring up Twitter. There's my Twitter. Okay, so where are we starting first? We're starting up here. Okay, this is from Milky Chai. Milky Chai says the second one is correct because you're high as blank on whatever meds you're using. Kristen says, we have resumed posting on TikTok. I would guess that she will also be back to reporting people there shortly. Oh, so you reinstated your TikTok, Foodie? Even though TikTok is not your forte, it's not your form. So you're back to doing TikToks with the heavy filters. Well, I guess now that you've got a new Samsung, you feel confident again that you're going to post TikToks of your heavily filtered self. But okay, whatever you want to do. Interestingly enough, Foodie recently eliminated her OnlyFans account. It took her this long to get rid of her OnlyFans. Why did you wait so long, Foodie? You've been reverted as a Muslim woman for a while. Why did you wait till almost now to get rid of the OnlyFans? I would think if you were newly reverted as a Muslim woman, that would have been one of the first things you got rid of, but you waited until now to get rid of it. So we're back on TikTok, but you got rid of your OnlyFans. Okay. We'll see how long that lasts. She might have another OnlyFans account that we don't know about. Now, this is really cool. This is from Deserted Places. Somebody took, I guess, what do you call those things? I forget what the name of them, but flew through an old mansion. Oh, this place looks gorgeous. You guys know I love photography. Can you imagine the cool pictures that would come from photographing everything in a place like this with the amazing architecture and the structure and the peeling paint, I would be in heaven. Just give me a camera and let me loose in a place like that for a few hours. I will come out with so many wonderful pictures that I might put into ambiance videos or something. I mean, look at that. Look at the ceiling. You don't see places like that anymore. And the murals, are you kidding me? That would be paradise for me as a photographer. I would spend all day and all night in a place like that until either I ran out of storage space on my digital camera or I just went numb taking pictures. What great footage. Thank you, Deserted Places, for posting that. All right, this is from Mrs. Robinson saying, Chin's pretending she doesn't like doing sponsorships from her own accord is peak comedy. The internet is forever. Remember the coldest water bottle calling you a bully? Oh, goodness. Excuse my throat. No one wants to be associated with you. So, yes, for those who are not aware, back in the day, coldest water bottle was all about sponsoring anybody on YouTube. If you had a channel and it had a decent following, they were reaching out to you and saying, hey, you want us to sponsor you, and you got the biggest, coldest water bottle and showing it on stream. And then they kind of cut back on that. They didn't want to be associated with the mukbangers, and they kind of let some people go. But Foodie has the distinction of being the only one that ever got truly fired from coldest water bottle, not once, but twice. And she did not take the firing with grace. She didn't just smile and say, thank you for sponsoring me as long as you did. It was great working with you. No, she got ticked off. So this is from the email from Joe Cold, coldest water bottle, saying, Dear Foodie Beauty, after reviewing your channel, we have decided to terminate your sponsorship effective immediately due to many reasons, including spreading false information and bullying. We do not tolerate bullying at all. We do not want to be associated with you if you're going to bully people. So people were reaching out to Coldest Water Bottle and letting them know how she was behaving and the things she was saying. And so they got rid of her not once, but twice. And this is how she handled it. She made a post on Coldest Water Bottle saying, so Coldest Water sent me a crappy email because they say I am bullying people, but support and sponsor bullies. Just ticked that I'm decided to no longer work with them. Do not support Coldest. They are overpriced anyways. This is a problem that they are accusing a person who is being tormented every day. I have been doxxed. My family has been doxxed. I have several channels and forums bullying me every day, and then Coldest wants to pull this crap. Horrible company. Who have I bullied? Ridiculous. Just like when you listened to the haters and canceled my sponsorship the first time, now you pull this crap. Shows what unprofessional company you are. So Foodie, if Coldest Water Bottle reached out to you for sponsorship and you looked at the company and you said to yourself that their gear was overpriced, if it was a company that really didn't jazz with you, why did you agree to the sponsorship in the first place? You saying that their stuff was overpriced, it's a crappy company. I guess you didn't feel that way when you agreed to the sponsorship. It wasn't as if you had the sponsorship and you terminated it on your own before they terminated you. No, they terminate you, and then you're going to turn around and be salty and bitter about it. So this is why you, as a person, you are no one that nobody should pick as a representative for their service, product, or company because of the way you handle things. If a company takes you on as a representative and then they find out things about you, or they decide at any time to terminate the contract, the way to handle it is to handle it with grace and walk away quietly. Because companies like Coldest Water Bottle, they are huge. And if you handle things badly with one company, word gets around and nobody else wants to work with you. So how that relates to what's going on now. You're on TikTok, and people have said that the way people make money on TikTok is through sponsorships. So if you, being the rotten evil person that you are, if you've already cut ties with one big company, knowing that that information is out there, it's on the internet forever, who's going to want to take you on? Knowing that you've got a bad reputation, it's everywhere, it's out there, it's searchable. How are you going to make money on TikTok if the main money comes through sponsorships and nobody is going to want to sponsor you? Not with the way you represent yourself, not with your reputation, not with the way that you are just, you're completely unprofessional when it comes to things like that. Ugh, this is from Mrs. Robinson. Okay, guys, listen, I again apologize for torturing you in the last couple of reacts by subjecting you to the skits that she did, but I'm going to make it up to you. I'm going to make it up to you today by not subjecting you to the torture that is her little documentary about her and Salah. I refuse to put you through that. It's entirely too much. This is just like a little snippet clip. I'm not even going to play the sound where she's talking about her and Salah. There's really bad music, and it's so cringeworthy. It is. I'm not going to put you through that. No, you don't deserve all that. No, not today. I mean, you're looking at this little clip. That's all you need to see. It's her looking at him and him basically looking at the camera, and the secondhand embarrassment is absolutely real. It is. I mean, here's a screenshot from Grogu. She's looking at him. It's so forced. It's so fake. He's looking at himself in the camera. I mean, what more do you need to know? What more do you need to see? Ghost Crab says this would explain his sudden interest in getting a successful YouTube channel going. He wants to be financially independent and knows Chantal has done the same for Natter. He wants to get out of it as much as he can before he tells her goodbye, probably by the end of May. So I've been wondering that. What's the game plan? What's the end goal? It must be huge for him to put up with her in the way that he has for this long. Like, what's the big prize? I guess at some point we're going to find out, because even as patient as he might be or greedy as he might be, everybody's got their limit. Everybody's got their tolerance level. And once you hit it, there's no going past it. So how much are you going to put up with, Salah? How much can you tolerate before you just had enough and you walk away? We're going to find out. We will find out, because she's not going to leave you, bro. You're going to have to leave her. Nobody escapes Chantal. She is the proverbial Black Widow. Any male that gets within 5 feet of her, she wraps her little silk around and they have a hard time escaping. The only way that you can escape is if she lets you go. And, plot twist, she doesn't let men in her life willingly go, unless that there's nothing left for her to take. Then she might let you go. Ghost Crab says, I think Salah's original plan was to have Chantal take him to Canada, but he realized that isn't happening because Chantal is bankrupt and delusional. Because Chantal lives in her own flat, she isn't that much of a bother to Salah, and he's looking for another woman to get out of Kuwait right now. Well, in order for him to talk to other women, he better have a second phone that she doesn't know about and she has no access to. I'm pretty sure she's keeping close tabs on him with one phone, checking his Facebook and all that, because I'm sure she's very aware of the fact that he's not in love with her, that this is all just role play. He's playing his part, and for playing his part, he has to get paid, and he might be looking for other women, but, her being the control freak, she's going to try to control that which will not be controlled. So how long can this role play go on, Chantal, before somebody breaks character? Well, I hope we find out soon, because this Chantal arc of you being in Kuwait, it's boring. We need a little excitement. Toss us some excitement, Chantal, because this ain't doing it. This is also from Abandoned Places. Look at that. Oh, I'm falling in love with that room. You know, it's such a shame when you see abandoned places that look like this. I just want to go through, clean everything up, restore it to see how it really looks. Even a place that looks like this, I would move right in and start fixing it up because it's charming, it's lovely, it's elegant, it's everything. It gives me life. I love old places like this. They have so much character. They've got so much to say. Mrs. Robinson says, and now she's the Chantal show. Yeah, Chantal changed her name again. She's giving us whiplash again. Take your medication, Chantal. So we went from Foodie Beauty to Chantal and then Sala's last name to just Chantal to the Chantal show. Chantal, stop changing the name. Cut it out. You're making everybody dizzy. Stop changing the name. It's stupid. Ghost Crab says Chantal again flippantly mentioning that she was in a blank relationship for 1 year. She was not. She stalked a man that did not want her. No DV victim would talk about constantly and without any emotion because you get traumatized just thinking about it. I hate this blanker. I agree with all those points. I do. I mean, I've been through all the things that she claims that she's been through, and her responses don't match. They don't match the trauma. What I mean by that is just the way she behaves. I'm like, when she talks about it, it's very reminiscent of somebody who's not been through something. And because they haven't been through something, they would not know what a natural response to those things would be. You know, there's acting and then there's acting with experience. And so she's acting, but she's acting without the experience. So she's just faking her way through it. I don't think she's been through anything. I think she doesn't understand that those of us have been through it. It's not a badge. It's a scar. And so the feeling is a lot different. She likes to flash it around like a badge. Oh, I've been through this. Feel sympathy for me. It's not a badge, Chantal. It's a scar, and scars hurt. Even years later, they still hurt. So, I mean, there's a lot of things you've done, a lot of things you've said that make me look at you sideways. Like you say, you've been through extreme hurt, but yet you spent time around Natter, and you did it without an ounce of fear, provoking the person that hurt you, also without fear. I mean, I could just list all the things that I find strange and weird that the math ain't mathin'. But we're just going to go on from here. You guys already know my thoughts about that. So we're just not going to stay on that topic too long. All right, so that's all the stuff on Twitter. So let's go on to the actual Q&A, shall we? And thankfully enough, it's not that long. It's about 31 minutes long, so this shouldn't take long. Shouldn't take long at all. So let me go ahead and share the screen. Let's do this thing. All right, let's do it.
Of Q&A series I'm doing. I'm just trying to answer all your guys' questions. So let's get right to it. I know that I've announced that we have like 4 channels on the go, and we have the gym, and we have so many other things going on with Ramadan. I'm really behind on editing. I do have some series of videos I'm going to do on this channel regarding my Ramadan experience and my Kuwait experience in general. So just be patient with me. I'm a little bit behind on the editing. So we'll get there. So let's get to it. All right.
Okay, I'm confused. I am confused because even if she has 4 or 5 channels, the length of the videos, each video is really, really short. She's been giving us 8 minutes, 11 minutes. How long does it take to edit an 8-minute vlog or a video, it shouldn't take that long at all. Chantal, I will sit down and make an ambiance video. And those are for, say, 1 hour a piece. And it might take me an hour, it might take me 2 hours. But an 8-minute video really shouldn't take you that much. Even if you have 5 channels, 4 channels, and you're editing several videos a day, it shouldn't take that long.
Right. So, just going to continue with the questions. Girl World Oracle asks, question, why haven't you sought out paid partnerships and sponsors? There are apps you can join that will help with that.
Who would want to sponsor Chantal? Given her personality, given her reputation, who would want to sponsor Chantal? Anybody out there that you've worked for a company, or perhaps you own a company, you know that as a boss or an employee, whoever you work for, whoever you got working for you, you want them to give the best performance, have the best attitude, have the best skills. Whoever it is that you're associated with, you want that person to be a good representative of your company. Maybe someone that has the best customer service or knows how to talk to people. What people skills does she have? Absolutely none. She's not nice to people except when she wants something. She's got a foul mouth. She's got a worse attitude. Whether it's a product, a service, a brand, a company, she shouldn't be representing anybody who has anything where they're putting their time and their hard work and they're trying to establish themselves. If anything, her as a representative would ruin whatever people are trying to do.
Um, so there's like a few reasons. One of those reasons is that I don't really like advertising other people's products unless I really, 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 unless it's something that I really enjoy. For example, Lush, which doesn't happen because they don't really do sponsorship videos. Maybe.
Well, you know what, Chantal, your favorite products, your favorite companies, Lush, they would never call on you to represent them. Burger King, McDonald's, they would never call on you to represent them in any way. Any fast food joint, you still wouldn't be a representative, no matter how many Nashies you ate, no matter how many fast food sandwiches you ate. They're not going to call on you. Your love extends to makeup and fast food. And none of those places are going to be picking up the phone and dialing your number.
They do now, but they didn't for a long time. I just really don't enjoy it. It's just not something that, I can't be fake about it. Like, I can't just promote a product if I don't really like it. Maybe in the past I was more enthusiastic about it as a new YouTuber. I used to do things like Teamy and all that. Although Teamy, I did drink their tea, so I did like some of their products. But I'm not going to promote a company if I don't use their products. I do get emails from companies. I think one was like a protein cereal. And I was like, I wouldn't eat that. So why am I going to advertise it just for money?
Just for the record, I myself, even having a small channel, I've had people reach out to me through email saying, hey, if you want us to sponsor you, we'll sponsor you. All you got to do is review our product on your page and we'll sponsor you. But the things that have been offered to me, I'm really not into and I would never use, so I turn them down. So you don't have to be a huge channel like Chantal to get people reaching out to you and saying, hey, can you review our product? And if you do, we'll give you a free product or a sponsorship. Small channels, large channels, they get offers all the time because companies just want exposure. So yes, you're probably getting offers, Chantal, but like, again, who would want you to be a representative? Anybody with any lick of sense would say, no, that's not a good idea.
So that's not something I do. Second, I think, they expect you to have kind of a more cleaner image when it comes to promoting their products, their company. I get that. I totally get that. So, and whatever, I'm totally fine not promoting any companies. It's
Well, basically, she's saying, I've ruined my reputation, and I know that. I've been way too messy, way too outrageous, way too offensive. And whatever company I sign up for, people are going to contact them and let them know if they don't already know. And that sponsorship is going to be short lived. See, that's the price you pay, Foodie, for doing the most on YouTube and not in a good way. This is the price you pay. That's part of the price you pay, is that the internet is forever. And whatever you do, whatever you say, will always come back and haunt you.
just something I'm not really into. All right, this is a comment that I will comment on from Kimby. Oh, and thank you, the previous person, for your question. I love the direction your channel was going up to the B day when you met Frank. The interaction between you and the audience seemed very sincere, and the chemistry was awesome. You seemed more genuine and even happy a lot of times. Would be so awesome to one day see a Beezer reunion call and we where we can face call and we can put faces to names. Thank you, Kimby, for your comment. So I I was thinking about this a lot, and I sometimes do miss things about how I used to do my content and everything. Obviously, we all miss things from our past, but mentally, spiritually, everything is so different about me. Not personality.
Not really. So you're telling a lie right here. Everything about me is so different. In what way is it different? You may have changed the way you dress, but the attitude is still the same. The rudeness is still the same. Everything is still the same. And I'm a fair person, Chantal. If you had changed truly, I would say yes, you have truly changed in a certain way, but you haven't. I'm going to say it. I think you are cosplaying at being a Muslim woman. You're not a truly reverted Muslim woman. You've not taken the faith into your heart. And it's awful that you're cosplaying at it, that you're using it as a way and a shield to hide all of your offensive behavior and words behind. But you haven't changed. Your The way you dress might have changed, but the person underneath the clothes is exactly the same.
Personality wise, I still, I'm kind of silly. I still do struggle a lot with mental health problems and with anger issues and things like that, and being triggered and stuff like that. That hasn't really changed much. I mean, I'm doing maybe a lot better than not lashing out every single day, but I would say that the type of life I had then attracted a certain audience. um,
And it's still attracting a certain audience because you still come on camera eating. You're still monetizing your problem with food. You know what I'm not hearing here? I'm not hearing any talk about therapy, like true therapy. Where's that at? I don't know if there's any places in Kuwait or any way to get therapy. Maybe there could be therapy online sessions. That's what you need the most. You need therapy, but you're never going to get it because you're too busy monetizing your hurt. And I'm going to throw my theory out there. I'm putting it on the table. Here's what I think is going on, Chantal. I think that you've got yourself in contact with a bunch of feeders and VIBs. You go through the back channels. They contact you perhaps on Instagram or through email. You might be doing custom video requests for those people and getting paid. And that's where the money for the new phones is coming from before payday. I think you're smart enough that you're not going to make a feeder profile on a site where it can get caught. I think you might be doing things privately and secretly to where you're still getting the money, but there's no chance of being found out. But you're still monetizing things that really you shouldn't be monetizing. And if you had truly changed, you wouldn't be doing that. But as long as you keep doing it, it lets me know that everything is still the same. It's just more in the shadows.
Right now I'm in a transition period, and a lot of those that audience has fallen off or has been blocked. Yes, because a lot of it was a trolling. A lot of it was sometimes, when I wasn't in my right state of mind. As you know, I was going through a lot, and I documented all of that a lot. I was going through an abusive relationship. I was going through um,
Were you though? Were you though? See, because I don't believe it. For all the reasons previously stated, I don't want to repeat myself here. Were you though? Were you in an abusive relationship for real? I don't think you were. I think you were cosplaying at that too. I really do. For a lot of reasons. You like to claim that, but the math ain't mathing. But go ahead and try to treat it like a badge when it's actually a scar. Go ahead.
addictions, several addictions, and I just needed an audience, to vent to open up to. It was
No, 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 no. You didn't need an audience to vent to. You needed a hug box of enablers, and you needed an audience to exploit with your fake, phony victimhood and phony hurt. That's more the truth. That is more of the actual truth. You needed an audience, you needed a crowd for your spectacle of fake, phony hurt and trauma that you could exploit for profit's sake. Because you kept talking about that topic repeatedly over and over again because it was too profitable to stop. If you were someone that you actually went through trauma of a severe kind, if you'd actually gone through it, Chantal, you would have had more respect for the people in the audience that have actually gone through it. And you'd be saying to yourself, maybe I'm triggering people. Maybe I shouldn't be triggering people talking about this over and over and over again. The fact that you did over and over again, it lets me know you never went through it. So I'm calling BS on you.
like therapy for me.
But it wasn't therapy. It wasn't therapy. It venting on YouTube in that way, it's not therapy. It's not therapeutic for you, and it's certainly not therapeutic for your audience. It's triggering for your audience. You're stressing them out. You're worrying your audience, and you love to do that. You love to keep people worried about you, thinking about you, concerned for you. Yet you have no concern for the people in your audience. You don't care what they've been through, what they're going through. They might have their own problems, their own worries. You're not creating a channel where people can just relax and enjoy you and be entertained by you. It's all about what can I do and what can I say to keep people stressed out.
And I'm not saying that an audience is a replacement for medical therapy. That's not what I'm saying, but it still helped me. So I had a community
Yep, it sure did. It helped your bank account.
of people there for me, and I really appreciate that at that time of my life. But now things are different in my life, and honestly, um, I don't know where people say that I'm not happy. I think it's just speculation. You don't really see what's going on when the camera's off.
Well, that's true. We can't see nor hear what happens when the camera is off. But when you're making little skits, Chantal, and you're drawing awful pictures of yourself in a car hitting a small animal, how does that show personal growth? It really doesn't. You're still doing things to try to get people triggered and to get people talking. You're still relying on the same tired tactics, and you really need to stop.
But I'm a lot more at peace right now with my life. I enjoy that I'm not on any substances. I enjoy that. Yes, I still struggle with food, but that I think
You're not struggling. Struggling would imply that you're trying to stay away from food, to cut back on your calories and your portions and taking your health seriously. You're not doing that. Where is the struggle when we sit and we watch you on your own vlogs and you've got party platters in front of you that are really meant for 5, 6, 7 people? When you've got two pie tins full of rice sitting in front of you, plus bread, plus soup with a bunch of potatoes in it, how are you struggling? There's no struggle there. You're not trying to cut back. You're not trying to put the brakes on. If anything, you're pressing the gas pedal.
I think will always be the case. Um, I'm I'm a lot happier in a lot of different ways. So the audience, dynamic is not the same as it was. I understand that it might have been it was a lot more fun back then for certain people. Um, but I think I'm just, growing up and I'm just, yes, at my fine, ripe age. But I think maturing as a person has nothing.
I'm going to say something kind of rude and crude, but it's the truth. I don't think Chantal is growing up. I think she's growing out, meaning she's putting on more weight, making herself more unhealthy. And she's over 500 pounds. Chantal, you need to slow down with that, because if you become bedbound, Salah's not going to take care of you. He doesn't have the medical training as a nurse to take care of you if you become bedbound. And if you become bedbound, that opens up the door for, say, skin infections, lesions, bed sores, all of that. I don't know if the plan is to become bedbound, if you're under the impression that he loves you so much, he's going to take care of you, but that's not in the cards, okay? It just isn't. Mentally, emotionally, you're not growing up, you're not maturing, you're not having epiphany moments, you're gaining more and more weight, and you really need to slow down with that.
Thing to do with your age number, with your chronological age at all. Um, we see that a lot on here online. So I'm trying to mature even more and uh, do my life is in a different direction. Um, I never expected it to go this way, but I'm very happy that this is the path that's been set out for me, and I'm going to embrace every moment of it. So while I do miss some things, it's nice to look back and go, "Oh, this was funny." That's the extent it goes for me, really. And anyone is welcome. Everyone is welcome as long as you're respectful. If you say something to me, like I know a lot of people were upset about being blocked and it's isolating your audience. It's isolating a part of audience that's been toxic a lot of the time and doesn't want the best for me. So for me, I will take that loss because it helps me mentally. So and as a creator, I have a right to do that. I have a right to choose who I want in this space.
Chantal, you've had your chat pretty much locked down for the longest to just VIB chat, which means you've isolated a lot of people that come to your channel. They can't talk to you unless they pay the extra money. So my question to you is, if by locking down the chat to where it's just the VIBs, if you say that it's helped you with your mental health, why do you continue to rage? Why do you continue to talk about the reaction channels and make really nasty community posts about them? If locking down your chat is supposed to be helpful to you and help with your mental health and your emotional health, why do you keep lashing out at people? Should that not be happening by putting up a wall and only those who pay can cross that wall? Well, you've had that going on for the longest, but yet you're still acting out. It's not making sense to me.
At any time that I find suitable. So that's it. Thank you for your question, Kimby. All right, Indica Brownie asked, how difficult was the decision to become a revert? What has been the biggest challenge in that process? I'm always curious about different religions and how they came to be. Also, why is it referred to as a revert and not a convert? Sorry if that's a stupid question. Well, Indica Brownie, I'm not going to lie and say there's no such thing as stupid questions, because there are, but yours is not one of them. um, it's never stupid to ask about something that you don't have much understanding of. I am totally tolerant of those kind of questions. I'm still learning myself about Islam. I mean, I'm a new revert. But the short answer is no, it wasn't difficult. Okay, I should say yes and no, it is. The decision to revert, to become Muslim, to take the Shahada, was not the difficult part. That was very easy because, you basically just need to acknowledge, you need to have basic understanding of Islam, but you also need to accept and swear to the fact that there's only one God and that Muhammad is his messenger. So I completely agree with that. The hard part for me is being a Muslim sometimes. I want to be a
I respect those who are Muslim. I respect those of the Muslim faith or anybody that, whatever faith you might have, if it makes you happy, if it's what's in your heart, I respect that because we all have different paths of choosing that call to us. What I don't respect is Chantal's cosplaying at this. She's been cosplaying at it. Like she was being very disrespectful to the Muslim people and the Muslim faith with her behavior, with the things she was saying. And even after she took her Shahada, she continued to act out and make up her own rules. Let's be honest, Chantal. Let's be really, really honest. It's not the faith that you were attracted to. It's the fact that you could put on, say, a hijab and an abaya and use that clothing to disguise your problem with food and gaining more weight. You thought that by putting those things on that you could hide more of the problem rather than solve the problems. You're all about hiding and escaping from things rather than dealing with things. And because you're all about hiding and escaping, you're not going to take anything truly into your heart. You're not going to take it seriously. You're not going to be respectful with it. You make up your own rules. If you don't like these set rules, you'll just erase those and make your own.
good Muslim, but it's very, very hard. Um, you know, certain things, keeping my character, not breaking my character, not letting hate and anger into my heart.
It's interesting she used that word. She just said it's not breaking character. Interesting choice of words, Chantal. I caught that. Character. Now, Chantal said long ago that she wanted her own reality show, but she would never join a reality show on TV because it didn't pay enough. And I've told you guys on my channel that I feel that one of Chantal's main problems is that the person, Chantal, got lost in the character Foodie Beauty long ago. She invested everything into the character rather than the actual person, caring about the person's well being and health and problems. Because Chantal, the person, when the camera's turned off, she's alone. Nobody talks to her. She goes nowhere. She does nothing. She has no life when that camera's turned off. But when the camera is turned on, the character, Foodie Beauty, has people that want to talk to her, has people that pay attention to her. The character, Foodie Beauty, is earning a paycheck on YouTube. There's a bit of importance attached to the character rather than the person. And because she invested everything into the character, she always wants to be on stage with the spotlight on her. She doesn't want the spotlight on anybody else or anything else. And that's why when the spotlight gets shifted to the left or the right to anybody or anything else, she will always do and say whatever she needs to get the spotlight back on her. She just cannot get off stage and just be a person. But it's interesting that you used the word character. Character implies that you are playing a role, a part. But a character is not a person. You can have character and you can be a character, but the choice of words with you in this instance, it's all about an image, it's all about a front, it's all about a role. That's why your life is a mess, Foodie, because you're too much in character rather than developing character.
Things like this, even the makeup thing. I'm wearing light makeup, but there's rules. There's guidelines set by Allah that are sometimes challenging, and I'm sure most Muslims feel this way. Um, so I'm just trying to do my best and repent when I can. Born servants to Allah. Thank you, Indica Brownie, for your question. I hope that answers it. Chickadee. Hi, Chantal.
Regarding spirituality and religion, I hate, absolutely hate the fact that she is such a person that she has the viewpoint that I can do whatever I want, I can say whatever I want, I can be as hateful and evil as I want, and then ask for forgiveness, and all of my sins, all of my evil will be forgiven. That's only true if there's true enlightenment there, and if you've truly changed and turned over a new leaf. But if you're just trying to use spirituality and religion as a get out of jail free card, it ain't going to work, Chantal. If you are the same person in your heart, if you carry that same negativity in your heart, there's no forgiveness there. If there's no remorse and no regret, how can you possibly be forgiven for wrongs that you've done?
Oh, new series. Nice. I will be watching. Also, yes, thank you. Question. Did you ever think of putting out a special fragrance with Salah? Can he have a special scent made to order, or does he only have access to pre-made perfumes? Because that would be cool if you could have special scent of your own creation mixed and sold. Chickadee, I don't know if you saw, we do have a Beezer perfume. It's in the room. It's a rose vanilla scent.
It's not a perfume. It's a fake Febreze. It's a fabric spray. So it's just basically like a cheaper version of Febreze. As far as, say, a perfume, Chantal, or a body lotion, a lot more steps would have to be required. There's the licensing, there's the testing. You got to test the product and make sure it's safe for people to put on their skin, whether it's liquid or solid. I don't think you, nor Murad, nor Salah, you're going to go through all of that. Also, if you make a perfume or any product, you have to find a space that was sanitary and clean, also licensed, also with a permit. That would cost money. That would take time. You're not going to go through all that. So you guys came up with some kind of fake, phony Febreze spray, but it's not a perfume. And I'm sure it's not been tested.
He does have a warehouse where him and his business partner, and they make the fragrances themselves. They mix the fragrances with different scents, different essential oils, different.
And it's funny that we never got a tour of the place. They promised us, we're going to give you guys a tour. So where was the tour? Where was the walkthrough? It was never shown to us.
I don't know what they use, but yeah, they have like all the bottles, all the equipment, all the mixers. They have scales. Like he does everything. Like they do everything themselves. Sometimes he comes home smelling of something nice. I'm like, oh, what is that? He's like, a new fragrance. So he does have that. So yeah, he can make a requested scent for sure. He can try to. So the Beezer perfume was just for fun. I do
Not perfume. It was Febreze.
my favorite scent that he makes is rose vanilla. So he sells just to markets here in Kuwait. He doesn't ship internationally, so we're not looking to sell to anybody right now. I don't know. I know a lot of you want to try the perfume, so maybe inshallah one day we can, get you guys some samples or something. But we're not looking to.
How are people going to get samples if you just said we don't ship internationally? And here's another question, Chantal. Since he's in Kuwait, since the company is in Kuwait, when you ship a product or anything anywhere, there's the cost of shipping and customs and all that. And because it's so far away from where a lot of people live that are your beezers, how are you going to ship it to them? Wouldn't that be kind of expensive?
To profit off of selling internationally or anything like that right now. He's doing well in Kuwait, so mashallah. And yeah, but the short answer is yes, he can make any scents he wants to. They're not pre-made. Squeaky from, do you think it was necessary for you to become Muslim to marry Salah? Like, if he was fine with you not converting, would you have been fine marrying him as you were? So I actually made the choice to become Muslim. Salah is Muslim, but it wasn't like a requirement. Like at first when I met him, I was like, I'm Christian. Is that a problem? And he was like, no, that's totally fine. Christians, and Muslims can marry. I mean, a Muslim woman has to marry a Muslim man, but as a Christian woman, I could marry a Muslim man, and vice versa. So it was a conversation though. Like, he would have just loved for me to of course learn more about Islam and become Muslim. So, um, I kind of just like made that decision on my own. So it wasn't a requirement for him to do it. Just like wearing hijab is, he prefers me to be covered, of course. But if I was like, absolutely, I don't want to do this, um, I think he would be okay with it. Um, Especially like I don't, not required to be Muslim. This is all my own spiritual learning on my own. But him being Muslim really helps. We do prayer together. It's really nice, and it connects us on a more spiritual level. So, yeah, it's also a cultural thing as well. A lot of this, Kuwait has become a lot more open than a lot of different countries. So in the Middle East, so I think, so you do see women who are Muslim and not covered. I honestly, in public, have yet to see so many. Most of the women I see are dressed in black and they wear niqab. That's like the majority of the women I see here, Muslim women. But there are some who are more, you know, have different ideology and everything like that. It's tradition.
Chantal's talking like she leaves the house a lot. Like she's constantly out of the house and she's walking around the cities and the towns. And so she takes notice of how the ladies are dressed. Tell the truth, Chantal, you hardly ever leave that house. And when you and Sala are out, it's mostly at night. So, how many ladies of Kuwait would you actually see to take note of how most are dressing?
Traditionally, Muslim women are um, ordered by Allah to cover at least their hair, cover their body, their hair, dress modest. So, or be veiled. So I think he would prefer me to cover myself, but I don't think it would be like a super requirement for him. It wouldn't be a deal breaker because I wasn't covered and I wasn't Muslim when I met him. So, you know. Donnie asked, thank you for your question. Donnie asked, cost of living in Kuwait. The cost of living in Kuwait is, I would say, more affordable than Canada. Um, One, we don't have to pay taxes here. Like, there's no income tax, there's no sales tax. So, there's no tax at all. Uh, so, that automatically is a big difference. You can find apartments for a lot cheaper than in Canada as well, like a lot cheaper. Of course, petrol, gas is so cheap. It's maybe like $20 on like a 6 cylinder. His Honda's like 6 cylinder. It's like $20 for like a week of like straight driving. Like we drive quite a lot. So It's so cheap, but it's an oil country, right? So, food is cheaper, a lot cheaper. You can get
I'm sure that her living in Kuwait, it is a bit cheaper for her because when she was in Canada, she had a lot of expenses. You know, she had her green habit, she had her food habit, she was supporting herself and Pete's and Natter. Like she had a lot of people on her payroll. Although her being in Kuwait, her Canadian dollar is worth almost nothing. So I'm not quite sure how being in Kuwait would be cheaper if her currency is not worth as much as it would be in Canada.
like a bag of 100 falafel. Is falafels falafel? I don't know. What's the plural of falafel? The word falafel has now lost all meaning. You know when you say something so much. Anyway, so for like I think it's like 1 kd, so like $4 for like 100 falafels. Where I used to get like six for like what, $10. So it's like super super more affordable in a lot of ways. Gold is cheaper and it's higher quality carats. Like this is 21 karat gold, so it's super affordable in a lot of ways for sure. Um, Pretty much mostly everything. Kanita Metovic asked, where do you plan to travel? So inshallah, we want to go to KSA or Saudi Arabia. Um, we want to go travel around the Middle East, different parts of the Middle East. I don't know, maybe Bahrain, Qatar, like fully explore it. I've been there like in transit from the one airport to another, but it looks like a really cool place too. Maybe UAE, like Dubai.
Kind of sounds like you can't live full time in Kuwait. Kind of sounds like your visa is going to run out and you got to find another place to bounce to. And as far as places like Dubai, Chantal, I've never been there, but I've heard that places like Dubai, it's basically a playground for the young, the rich, and the beautiful. So, you being a very insecure, controlling woman, if you plan on going to Dubai with Salah, you're going to have your work cut out for you. You're going to have your hands full because his eyes are going to be on everything but you. And he might be leaving you alone a lot. And I love that for you. I do. Like your jealousy, your insecurity is going to be at an all-time high. If you go to a city where the young, the rich, and the beautiful hang out and party, but go ahead, please go ahead. Let's have that experience.
Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, Maldives. Uh, we want to go to like, if I get really fit, if I successfully get super fit to a point where I could trek a long way, a long enough way, we both want to really do Everest Base Camp. I've always had this weird dream of wanting to go see Everest, and he does too. So that'll be my celebratory trip. Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with having a dream because dreams can sometimes be motivational. If you have a dream, it can motivate you to make that dream into reality. The problem with Chantal is that that's all she does is dream because it's easy to dream in your head and dream out loud verbally, but that's as far as she takes it. As far as your health, Chantal, you have not been to a doctor, I'm sure, to have your health checked out, to see the state of what's going on with yourself internally, your liver, your heart, your lungs, and so forth. And you're talking about working out. I don't think you're working out, but I would think that would be important to go to a doctor to get checked out so that you're safe to work out, or the doctor can tell you, yes, you can work out, but this is how much you can work out without risking your life. So you're not going to a doctor, you're not getting that checked out, and you're over 500 pounds. I would think that would be healthy for you to lose about 200 of those pounds because when you first started your channel, you were in the high 300s and you were able to be more active and do things that the extra 200 pounds is not helping you. And if you're planning on climbing Mount Everest, ma'am, there are people that are extremely fit that prepare to climb Mount Everest, and Mount Everest is dangerous. So if you want that, you're really going to have to work at that and work for a long time.
I'm afraid of that little plane crashing, but I guess I can take something for that. Midnight, thank you for your question. Midnight Majesty asked, what do you use to edit your videos? So I use KindMaster. I've been using KindMaster mobile. I use just like honestly lay in bed and edit on my laying down on KindMaster. And I use PixArt for my thumbnails. Now, Salah uses Filmora Wondershare for his gaming videos. And, but I like he sits and does it, but I like to lay down. So, you know, thanks for your question. Oh, and it's like, it's affordable. I don't remember exactly how much it was. It just comes off of my credit card, like automatically. So I don't really remember how much it is. I don't know. I can check and get back to you. Jack, Douglas, Beezer, if you could live anywhere.
I find that curious. So she just had a bankruptcy hearing. I thought that she couldn't have credit cards. I thought that was a no-no for quite a while. But here she is saying she put it on her credit card. Interesting.
In the world except Kuwait or Canada, where would you live? Honestly, I'm going to answer that, but between Kuwait and Canada, I think would be perfect. I think that would be perfect. I would probably want to live in the UAE, or I definitely like living in the Middle East.
She says that now. Nothing against Kuwait, nothing against the Middle East. I'm saying that because she's saying that now, and it's about to be deep summer where the temperatures reach over 100 degrees. And Chantal needs that air conditioning. She needs it to be extremely cold in the house just to be comfortable. Well, what's she gonna do, Foodie, when it's deep summer and it's so hot outside that you can't step outside that door? And what are you gonna do when there's a rolling blackout and there's no AC, there's no fan? And the only way you can keep cool is to go into the shower area and keep the water on you and never step out of there. You love it now, but are you going to love it in deep summer?
So either the Canada or the Middle East is probably where I would want to live for sure. I'm not really sure. Like, I haven't really explored other countries' possibilities, but you know, maybe there's some cool European countries that would be nice to live in, but definitely between Canada and the Middle East would be cool. Jules, hey sweetie, I understand women in Kuwait have to wear hijabs, but is that all the time or just in public? I'm asking because I notice you wear yours in your videos from home as well, so I'm just curious. Thanks, and just keep on doing you, girl. So here, hijab is not a requirement. Somebody did answer to that as well. Lulu, I'm a Kuwaiti. Just letting you know that wearing a hijab in Kuwait and as a Muslim is not mandatory. It's a choice. Smiley face. So yes, that's true. But wearing a hijab as a Muslim, from my understanding and opinion, is that it's in the Quran, uh, ordained by Allah to be veiled as a woman. So this is why I choose to do it. Um, but it's not mandatory. That person is right. It's not mandatory. Like, you don't have to be veiled here. You won't. There's no morality police who will come and arrest you. So it's more open, and other people have different interpretations of the Quran. So who am I to judge that? But for me personally, anytime I am being seen by somebody who is not my husband or blood family member, then I have to cover. So that's why we're in the home when I'm doing videos, because I'm being presented to you guys and I have to cover.
No, you don't. And I'm just going to give my opinion here. And this relates only to Chantal. It's not towards anyone else who are of the Muslim faith or might be Muslim. This is just my opinion. I feel the reason why Chantal wears the hijab, even when she doesn't have to, is the hijab, it acts like a sort of filter of sorts. it frames her face. She uses it almost like a secondary filter because she is gaining a lot of weight. And again, rather than solve the problem to where she can get to a point where she doesn't need the filters anymore, she would rather just employ whatever tricks that she can find to disguise what's going on so she can look in the camera and see what she wants to see. So the abaya, the hijab for Chantal only, it has nothing to do with faith. It has nothing to do with being called to dress in that way because it's what you feel in your heart is the right thing to do. It's what you feel comfortable with doing. She just likes to hide uh, problems with her body. She's not confident with her body. She wants to hide everything. She's always aware of different camera angles and making sure not to film herself at a side profile so we can see more of the weight gain. So the hijab, in my opinion, functions as a secondary fabric filter of sorts as it frames her face. And I've noticed over time that the top part of the hijab, it started off near her hairline and it slowly crept its way down to her eyebrows, which points in the direction that she's becoming more and more insecure of how she looks and she's just trying to cover it up.
For that reason. Thanks for your question. Kiwi 33. Are you happy? That's all I want to know. I hope the answer is a giant yes. Kiwi 33, thank you. Um, I'm really confused at how a lot of people, and I'm not directing this at you, Kiwi, because I do peripherally hear and see that people question my happiness. They think that I have to be back on my kitchen chair, you know, uh, in my whole mess just to be, or high or whatever, just to be happy. And I wasn't happy then at all. um,
By your choice. Everything that happened at that time was by your choice. Nobody forced you to live a certain way. Everything that happened was completely by your choice.
yes, I would say with a ginormous, ginormous yes. I am super, super happy. 100.
Why didn't you say that immediately after he asked that question? It took you a minute to get to that answer. I noticed that. It took you a minute to say, yes, I am happy. If somebody asks you, are you happy? If you're truly happy, the automatic response is, yes, I am very happy, but it took you a minute to get there. So I don't think you're telling the truth.
100%. Yeah, for sure. The
And another question, as someone that, Chantal, I've had a BED, mine's in recovery. I was also an emotional eater. You yourself have confessed to being an emotional eater. So if you're an emotional eater and you're happy, why do you continue to do the emotional eating if you're so happy?
I mean, life still has ups and downs. I'm not going to be ecstatic every day, and I'm still going through hardships and growing as a person. So, but generally, yeah, thanks for your question. New York Stiletto asked, have you been taking your medication properly? How does it work? Do you go to doctors to get prescriptions? So, thank you for your question. Um, so it's a bit different here. I think some medications require prescriptions, I should say. But honestly, the medications I need, my inhaler, which by the way takes Symbicort inhaler for my asthma, and I have recently restarted. I actually came off of I'm on and off about antidepressants, but I have to realize
Okay. So Chantal just basically told us without saying it directly, no, she's not going to the doctor. She should be going to the doctor. She hasn't been in the longest. Chantal hates doctors. She hates dealing with doctors. She doesn't want to hear them. She just wants to get the medication and keep it moving. So basically, what you're telling us, Chantal, is that you're getting at least some of your medications under the table without seeing a doctor. Personal choice here. Anything that goes on my body or in my body, I'm going to research because it's serious. If you put something in your body, food, medicine, whatever, or something near your body, you need to do your homework. Because if you're getting medications under the table, you don't know exactly what's in them. And what if you have a reaction? You have a myriad of health problems. Hence why you should go to the doctor and get checked out. But you're going to avoid that and just get medications, like, say, for depression. And here's something else. Antidepressants, they don't work immediately. You have to take them consistently in order for them to work. It might take a few weeks. So being the on and off with the antidepressants, you're just wasting your money and you're wasting your time. If you're not going to take them regularly, how can you expect them to work?
Guys, I need them. Like, I just restarted them actually yesterday. So, um, I literally, Salah will go into a pharmacy, any pharmacy here, and just say what I need. Like I said, I need Cypralex, 10 milligrams, for example. And you get your medication. It's as simple as that. I'm surprised. But the pharmacist is very knowledgeable and will go through a lot of details, side effects, blah, 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 all that stuff.
You know what? I would be very sus about anybody who's giving me medication without a prescription. Like, what kind of pharmacy is this? They just hand out medicine and prescriptions to people without a doctor's note. Very sus to me. Doesn't sound safe.
So they're almost like a doctor. They really find
No, no, they're not. No, a doctor is a doctor. A pharmacy tech is a pharmacy tech, but a pharmacy tech is not a replacement for a doctor who can do tests on you. What you're doing is stupid, but stupid is what you do. So I'm not surprised.
what you need. But yeah, it's super affordable. It's like the name brand Cypralex in Canada was like $80 or something like that. Here it's like 4 kd, like, or something, or like maybe I think it was like 8 kd. I think Salah said, like, maybe. So yeah, like not very expensive, like 30 something. So like, I don't know. But yeah, so really not expensive at all. So different, so different. And you can just walk into a pharmacy if they have it and it's not something that's on their like controlled substance list. I guess depression is pretty common, more common than I thought. So therapy is very, very, very pricey, but they do have a psychiatric hospital here. But
I'm sorry, I'm not buying that. Because if you're someone you need some kind of therapy, I'm sure there's all kinds of channels to take for therapy that may be expensive, but then again, they may not be expensive. Chantal cannot sit there with a straight face and say that she's looked everywhere for some kind of therapy for any one of her issues. That she's looked every place and she can't find someone available or some avenue that she could take that wouldn't cost her a lot. She's not interested in healing. She's interested in continuing her hurt because that's how she makes her content and that's how she makes her money, is profiting off the hurt.
these pills, I think, will, once I'm back on them, I honestly, that's why I feel tired when I first get back on them and, it gets into my system again. But I have to, now that I have cheap, easy access to them, I am just going to stay on them because, I'll do 10 milligrams until I start to feel they're not working anymore. And then honestly, when I would go for follow up with a psychiatrist to monitor my medication, and they would just ask me the same basic questions the pharmacist would ask, like, how do you feel? Blah, blah, blah.
She doesn't want to go through a psychologist or a psychiatrist because, yeah, they will monitor that. But also, they're looking out to see if you're abusing the medication, to see if you're using it for something that you shouldn't be using it for, or if you need it at all. So she doesn't want to go through the official channels. No, she wants to go to the back channels where No questions are asked. It's just about exchanging money for goods.
A lot like little things like that that anyone can ask, you know. So I'm very happy about that. Very, very happy. I need my medication. Like I'm if I'm not on it, it's like night and day for me. You can really tell. Like I just oh, man, my mood swings are so crazy and
And that might be a reason why Salah's like, what do you need? What medication do you need? I'll go get it. Just give me the cash and I'll go get it. Because if she's going through mood swings during Ramadan where she can't eat and use the food to self medicate herself, if her mood swings are out of control, he might be at a point where he's just throwing up his hands and saying, I can't handle this. What do you need? Just tell me, I'll go get it so you'll calm down. What do you need?
yeah, it's so hard for me to control my emotions.
You said that you were growing. You said that it was a better environment. You also said while you were in Canada that when you're in Kuwait, you feel closer to God, right? That's what you said. You're closer to God, you're more at peace, you're happier being in Kuwait. So, like, what's the problem? Like, why are you still having issues? It sounds like stuff you need to work out in therapy.
I'm working on it, but it's very hard. PR asked, when are you going home to Canada? I think I've answered this in like other ways through other questions. A lot of the questions are the same. You guys want to know, am I happy here? When am I going home? I don't have a foreseeable date when I'm going home. I don't know. Everything is like just, you know, I plan on being here for a while. We plan on doing some traveling. I'm not sure when I'll go visit home. I'm still not sure. So, but I'll let you guys know updates when I find out. Thanks, PR. Kanita,
I don't think she's coming back to Canada anytime soon. If she's got that huge debt hanging over her head, she doesn't want to go back until that's resolved or she finds a way around it. She's going to try to avoid Canada as long as possible to keep the tax ban off her back. Although, Chantal, he can find you in Kuwait if he wants to. Okay, there is a Canadian embassy in Kuwait. So, thinking that you're running from the tax man and he can't find you where you are, trust me, they can find you. And that debt will never go away until you work on it.
Metovic asked, how did you and Salah meet? How long did you know each other before marrying? Okay, so the short of it is we met in October, the beginning of October, and we married at the beginning of November, near the beginning of November. Yeah, so 1 month we knew each other, but I don't know. There's to me, there's no time frame to falling in love. Sometimes it's instant. Sometimes it, you know, I think developing a relationship, sure, it takes time, but um,
I believe that they fell in love, just in different ways. I feel that she fell in love with his looks and he fell in love with her money. So they're both in love with each other, just not in the usual way. He's in love with her money and the fact that he doesn't have to work and she will just give him money to be a companion. And she's in love with the role play fantasy of having a fake husband. So it's strictly a business transaction, folks, of services and money changing hands. It's not a relationship, it's a situationship. And the situation is she wants to know what it's like to be married, and he wants to know what it's like to be a kept man. So they are fulfilling each other's needs.
I kind of just do things fast. I kind of live fast, and it's hard to explain. Like I said, the story about it, you know, a lot of people will think it's not, you know, it's just BS because it sounds so, you know, it sounds far fetched. But honestly, I put my number on WhatsApp. I was fed up. I stopped looking at DMs. I said, I'm tired. God, please send me somebody who will take care of me and be the opposite of the abusive partner I was with before that. Please, please, please.
You made the comment long ago, Chantal. All he has to do is fake love me and I will give him the world. Well, you found someone that's fake loving you and you're taking care of them. But fake love is not real love. It's phony. It's not real. But that's okay with you because maybe in your head you've just come to the conclusion that you know how repulsive you are, you know how gross you are, you know how offensive you are, and you know that fake love is the best you can get because you're not willing to work on yourself and be a good person to get the real love. To get the real love, you'd have to change yourself completely. You're not willing to do that, so fake love is all you can get. And so you close your eyes and you just imagine it's the real thing when it's not. Because if you weren't there paying Sol's bills and giving him money, he'd be bouncing over to the next female and forget about you in 5 minutes.
I'm tired of these random meaningless datings and whatever else. The very next, like, I woke up to a WhatsApp message from Salah, and it was sweet, sweet message, and it was just from there, it just grew and grew and grew every day. We spent hours a day.
You know the irony of Chantal and Salah? Chantal, long ago, she did a live stream where she was talking about the romance scams and how she knew that if a decent looking guy, normal guy, messaged her, that it would be a scam. She said there's lots of romance scams with the younger, good looking men who message very overweight women that it's a scam. And yet here we are. So, like you were fully aware of these romance scams, Chantal, but yet you fell into one. But the question remains, who's scamming who? Is he scamming you or are you scamming him? I think it goes both ways. I think he started off scamming you, but then you scammed him right back by telling him a bunch of BS about, I've got a successful channel, I make lots of money, just stick with me and all will be well and you'll be swimming in the dough. And he's finding out that the lies were just that, they were lies. So what we have here, folks, are two scammers, two completely different scammers that just happened to meet up with each other and worlds collided. But that was also the case with her and Natter, was it not? Because he looked at her and said, oh, she's just this really overweight, stupid woman. I can get what I want from her. She's really thirsty for love. I just have to act like I love her and she'll give me whatever I want. And she looked at him and said, oh, he's just this crackhead loser and stupid and I could take advantage of him. And boy, did they butt heads. Two narcissists who underestimated each other, and then the sparks happened. The fireworks happened. Oh, the cannons went off because it just became a tug of war of who controlled who could out manipulate who. And all the drama ensued. And so we're kind of back to square one with her and Sala, except that Sala, he's a smooth operator. He's keeping whatever rudeness there might be happening off camera. He's not going to disrespect her on camera. He's going to keep up his image a little bit. Don't know what's being said and what's being done off camera, but he's maintaining a certain image on camera with her. And as long as he does that, she'll keep paying for everything. But still, it's a situation of two scammers continuing to scam and work with each other.
So I would say it was condensed. Like, yes, it was a short amount of time, like timeline wise, but each day we would video and spend time getting to know each other for the whole day, hours and hours and hours. So we grew closer together with every hour that we spent together. So
I'm sorry, I got to speak up. Listen, even if you have a real, genuine, sincere, honest, long distance relationship, even if that is the deal, even if you're someone and you're interested in somebody and they're interested in you and you spend hours and hours talking on the phone or texting or whatnot, you won't really know that person until you spend some real face to face time with them. Because all the texts and all the emails and messages in the world cannot replace real face to face time. Because face to face, then you can meet someone and feel their vibe, feel their energy, pick up things that you normally wouldn't pick up through text or emails or phone calls. You got to spend real personal time. So you can do all that back and forth, long distance stuff all you want to, but until you spend some quality time with them, real quality time, lots of it, and you've seen every side of them there is to see, their good side, their bad side, their ugly side, their sick side, their healthy side, their cranky side, you don't know that person. But Chantal, she's all about fast tracking everything and let's get past all this other stuff and then just get right to the dessert. Let's jump into a marriage. She's got a sweet tooth. Let's get to the sweet. I don't want to go through all this getting to know you stuff. Let's just get to the dessert. Well, you get what you get with that. If you take things too quickly in a relationship, by the time you figure out that you've made a mistake, it's too late.
It felt a lot longer that I knew him because of the quality time we spent together. So, yeah, but it was basically a month. And then I was married, which honestly is not something totally out of character for myself. I don't know. Mimi, this is a joke one, and I'm going to end with this one for now. Mimi's a beezer who makes me laugh. See, I love beezers who make me laugh. I don't. Um, I need people there for me in my circle who just unconditionally um, will just be there for me. People like that in life are rare. It's not that they have to agree with everything you do, but people don't, people who don't make you feel bad or berate you or are just there for you or make you laugh. I like people like that.
So basically, you want people around you that agree with everything you're saying. You're not allowing them to have a true opinion or a true feeling about anything going on that may not be jazzing with them. It's got to be a bunch of yes answers. Yes, Chantal. Yes, Foodie. We agree with you. Go ahead, do whatever you want. We're never going to say anything to upset you. You want a hug box. You're not letting people be people. You expect them to be robots that pay a membership to talk to you. And you wonder why the reaction channels do better than you. It's because people are allowed to have their opinions and their feelings and speak them freely in a chat, as long as they're respectful to the person who's hosting the live chat. They have more freedom to be themselves. You don't allow people to be themselves. You just want robots that pay you for the privilege of talking to you, when the talking to you is not really a privilege. Your channel is sinking. It's circling the drain, about ready to go down. I mean, that's pretty evident. You did a Q&A 5 years too late. This should have happened at the beginning of your channel. But you're so out of content ideas, you came up with this. You're in Kuwait. There's lots to see. There's lots to do. You've shown us very little, but you're reduced to a Q&A because you don't know what else to do. And you've got 5 channels now. So how are you going to make interesting, intriguing, entertaining content for 5 channels when you can't even manage it for just your main channel, which nets you your most income?
In my life, what did Sears ever do to you? I made a comment about Sears, like a derogatory comment about people wearing clothes from Sears.
Boo! How dare you? When your clothing choices are choice, Chantal, they're bad choices, but they're still choices. You can't even dress yourself. How dare you insult anybody dressing from Sears, ma'am? How dare you? Shame on you.
And I was angry, so I just said it,
Yeah, because that's you always trying to find a way to be insulting and to put yourself above other people. You always got to throw the fact that you're a YouTuber with a big channel in people's faces. You insult people for how they dress, how they live, where they live. Oh, you're in a she shed. Oh, you're in a Motel 6. Oh, look at me with a brand new iPhone 14 that I'm going to turn around and give to another person on the down low. Always throwing your money in people's faces. Always.
I think I have a vendetta against Sears because I used to have to wear the clothes so often. Like between that and J.C. Penney as a kid growing up, people my step grandmother would always, even my mom, like they would take me to Sears a lot. Sears was like the thing back when I was growing up. I was born in 1984. So the mall would have a Sears, like every mall would have a Sears, like they have like a one department store in every huge mall. Well, ours was Sears or J.C. Penney. So Sears, they always made me wear the ugliest. Like to me, I didn't care about clothes. I wanted Barbies. So I was always like, all these clothes, kids' clothes are ugly. They're all matching like purple top, purple corduroys.
The irony. So the clothes back then were ugly, according to Chantal. But yet, here she is almost 40 years old, and she still does not know how to dress for her age, nor her size, nor her body shape. So you insult the clothes from Sears, like that was the problem, the fact that they were in Sears. But here you are, a YouTuber. You can buy whatever you want. You can dress how you like. You could dress with style. And you don't dress with style. You're constantly picking patterns and colors that are unflattering to you. So maybe Sears wasn't the problem. Maybe it was just you. Hey, Chantal, I will go to a thrift store and pick out stylish clothes and dress well. Judge me. Judge me. I dare you. Judge me. Ain't nothing wrong with the thrift store. Ain't nothing wrong with Sears or any place else that people get their clothes. If you are a person and you know how to dress, you can take a $2 dress and make it look like $1,000,000. It's not the clothing, it's how you wear it, mama.
Or stirrup pants. You remember those? So I didn't like getting clothes. So I would always have to.
Hey, shout out to those in the 80s that wore the stirrup pants. I wore them. No shade, no shame. I wore the stirrup pants. Yes, I did. With the big Wham t-shirts and the jelly shoes and the little jelly bracelets. Yep, that I did that. Hey, I was an 80s kid. What do you want?
They would always make me bypass the Barbie section and go for the clothes because I needed clothes, right? Every school season starting. And Sears was just so drabby to me. There was just something about it. It was like department store drabby. Everything was beige, brown, appliances, clothes. Never, not, I saw the toy departments like some.
Yet, when you were in Canada, what was your favorite color? The ham color, which is not far off from beige. So you got a problem with beige, and beige can look fabulous. Yes, it can. If you wear it well, you look fabulous. You get a problem with beige, but yet you were wearing the ham colored pink, which is really close to beige, isn't it? It's really close in hue. So
Sometimes, but I didn't get a Barbie every time we went, and I always wanted a Barbie. And the cafeteria food was pretty crappy, but now that I look back on it, it makes me nostalgic to remember like the juice, the grape and red juice in those like coolers and like rice pudding, like cafeteria rice pudding or jello, and then like just fries with like lumpy gravy. Yeah, the food was pretty crappy. So I don't know. There's just something about Sears that just I don't like. I don't know what it is. But same with Zellers. Kmart, Zellers, Sears. I don't know. There's just something about department stores. Makes me. I just don't like it. I don't know why.
maybe it's because you had to be around people and you couldn't hide behind your phone. Maybe it's because department stores have actual mirrors that aren't filtered.
Although growing up, my favorite show was Today's Special, and it took place in a department store. So, and even that one was like a beige, boring department store. I don't know. I have I have issues.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of them.
Thanks, Mimi, for your question. All right, guys, so that's it for the Q&A. I don't know if I'll do another part soon, but now I'm going to get on the editing of the vlogs that I've been wanting to put out for you guys. So we're going to have, of course, more activities on the couples vlog and just mostly finishing up a lot of things left to do in Kuwait. There's a lot of things we didn't realize there are to do. So there's going to be some vlogs on that. And so just getting out more, showing you like the different cultures.
Why don't you do some actual workout vlogs? Because that would be an all around bonus in itself. You could get healthy. It would be new, interesting content for people. You don't need an actual gym for that. You could work out at home and film it. You've been promising gym content, but if you can't film inside of a gym because there's people and you don't want to get caught and you don't want to get in trouble, work out at home. Put some stuff on YouTube and work out to the videos. You'll get healthy and it'd be great content for people. How about that? You're promising gym content, workout content, make it happen.
Culture of Kuwait with museums and parks and different cultural centers. There's the Grand Mosque. There's all kinds of different.
Ma'am, please do not film inside of a mosque. That is so disrespectful. I'm not a person of a Muslim faith, but I just think it'd be disrespectful for you to film inside of a mosque. Please don't do that.
Things that we have done and are going to continue doing to show you. There's also a more fun side of Kuwait, but there's also my channel here plan on doing more personal related things like, you know, day in the life and stuff like that, my Ramadan experience. So anyway, I can hear my hamster stirring. I must go tend to him.
Okay, so that was it. That was part 2 of her Q&A. Did I cover the part 1? I don't remember if I did. I'm going to have to go look. But that's it for this react. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. I'm going to go check out a couple of other things I got my eye on that I want to react to today. But I want to thank everybody for watching this, and I will catch you guys on the flip side. Bye-bye.